Katoch, you make some very interesting points about how, Dr. Yunus was during the 1971 Liberation War. But you mentioned Donald Trump, and there are growing voices that are urging Donald Trump to do something about the situation that Hindu minorities are facing in Bangladesh. During his campaigning as well, he spoke about, how this should end, and he urged the Yunus administration to end the kind of violence that has gripped the country. Do you think that there would be some sort of substantial change when Donald Trump is inaugurated? There would be some sort of, peace and harmony that would come into Bangladesh?
You see, when I'm looking at the American policy on Bangladesh, whether it's the Trump administration or the Biden administration, they have got certain long-term American strategic interests. That is not going to change because they are looking at the St. Martin Islands and the Bay of Bengal area as a place where they can contain the Chinese. They also, both the administrations, they have also looked upon, getting certain pressure points on India so that they can at least influence to some extent India's foreign policy. Having said that, I do not think the Trump administration will go to the extent of condoning the genocide which is taking place of the Hindus by this particular administration being led by Dr. Yunus, by Mohammed Yunus. Now that is certainly not going to take place under the Trump administration, and that I think is a cause of concern as of now for the entire Yunus administration as also for the Jamaat. I would also like to state, that regardless of what any surveys which these people are trying to conduct, we are in touch with a lot of Awami League personnel who are all Muslims in Bangladesh. And they talk about the horror which is being inflicted on the Hindu population. I think it is time for India also to take a very, very strong stance. I'm glad the statements have been made by the Prime Minister and the External Affairs Minister. But perhaps I think that the time has come to do more. We can't just stick to statements. I think we have to go very, very firmly on imposing sanctions, very severe economic sanctions on Bangladesh to make them smell the coffee. This is not the way neighbors behave. And what they are doing is something which is shameful. It was India which helped them tide over the genocide which took place in 1971. And they are trying to replicate the same genocide now, which I think reflects very, very poorly on Dr. Yunus and on his entire administration. He needs to take very, very serious note of India's concerns, but more importantly, he needs to take very serious concern of what is happening in his own country. Shreya.